Rev it up and welcome to Cars Yeah, show number 2059. Be prepared to be inspired.
This is Cars Yeah, where you'll enjoy interviews with inspiring automotive enthusiasts. Mark Green is here to provide you with a fuel injection of automotive inspiration. So get in, sit down, buckle up, and get ready for a wild ride here on Cars Yeah.
Hello, inspiring automotive enthusiasts, and welcome to Cars Yeah. Today I'm in sunny Orlando, Florida, with a very special guest by the name of Dalia Rojas. Dalia, welcome to Cars Yeah. Do you have any gear, and are you ready to release the clutch?
I am totally ready and excited to be here.
All right. Cool. We'll have some fun today. Now, before I give you a proper introduction, could you share one little thing that maybe people don't know about you, Dalia?
Well, I would say that, I am an entrepreneur. I do live the entrepreneurial life, and people think that it's an easy life, but I do hard work. Like, it is a lot of work, but it's also very enjoyable and very satisfying.
Yeah, I don't know who said that entrepreneurial work is easy because you're juggling so many balls and doing so many things and always working, but there's an advantage to it, right? You're enjoying what you're doing because you've chosen what to do versus, and we'll talk about this later in our talk with you, versus the corporate world and somebody else is ruling over your time.
Exactly. I love it.
Yeah, it's great. Well, let me give you a proper introduction. We're going to dive into what you're up to these days. Dalia Rojas is owner of 6061, the exclusive North American distributor for GPR Exhaust Systems, a company founded in 1968. It's a one-stop platform for motorcycle, scooter, and ATV exhaust dealers, boasting a zero carbon footprint and using the industry's latest technologies, coupled with world-class exhaust systems and craftsmanship in a modern design. This global leader has long been one of the most trusted names in the power sports industries. Dalia's career path has included IT, cybersecurity, and then she decided to leave the corporate world and start her own business. There's that entrepreneurial spirit she spoke of in a field that she was passionate about, automobiles and off-road vehicles. So 6061 and GPR North America are her passions now. We'll be back in just a minute to talk with Dalia more about what she's doing, but first a word from our sponsors, so please give them a little love today, and we'll be right back. Covercraft's newest 3-layer all-climate cover is especially engineered for moderate weather conditions, and it's treated with an extra UV-resistant formula. It's soft, it's breathable, and it's easy to store, all while pampering your paint, providing maximum UV, rain, and dust protection. If you live where it's windy, no worries. Simply add their gust guards for windy conditions to add extra protection to keep your cover in place. Your 3-layer all-climate cover is custom tailored with Covercraft's attention to detail, form and fit with the quality and attention to detail that's been their tradition since 1965. Covercraft protects cars, trucks, motorcycles, RVs, trailers, and watercraft too. Every one of my vehicles is protected with a Covercraft cover. And I have a deal for you. Use the code YEAH21, YEAH21 at covercraft.com, and you'll get 10% off your Covercraft order plus free shipping. That's right. So get 10% off with free shipping by simply using the code YEAH21 at checkout. Covercraft, protecting the things that move you. When it was time to renew my collector car policy, my carrier raised my rates by a lot. But why? My usage was the same, my car's value was the same, and I had never made a claim. I didn't even have a ticket. The only change was their rate, and they had no reason why. What's with that? I researched my options, I spoke to others, and with American Collectors Insurance is where I now have my policy. What a difference. A live person actually answers the phone. She spent time learning about me and my Porsche Turbo, the one I call my Orange Crush, and provided a reasonable quote. American Collectors Insurance now protects my special ride. I'm saving hundreds of dollars, and I can sleep at night knowing my baby is properly insured. Why wait until your next premium is due? Give them a call today for your personal agreed value quote. Call 866-AC1-YEAH. That's 866-224-9324. Tell them you're a friend of mine, Mark Green at Cars Yeah. American Collectors Insurance, classic car insurance designed by collectors for collectors, automotive enthusiasts just like you and me. That's American Collectors Insurance. So Dalia, let's talk a little bit about this. You started this business, 6061, and now you're the head lead person for GPR North America. So let's start with 6061, and then we're going to dive in deep into what GPR is all about, and the fact that you're the exclusive distributor. Bravo to you. So take the wheel.
Well, yes. So 6061 is actually a motorcycle parts and accessories website and business. We do distribute as well on Amazon, eBay, and several other platforms, but our main website is 6061. We are actually well known by many motorcycle enthusiasts, and sometimes I am actually recognized on the roads.
Wow,
when
a celebrity, cool.
Well, kind of, yeah, a celebrity within a niche, I guess. Let's just say it that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're focused on that, on distributing our products and those GPR exhausts within the United States and Canada. And we're here to just tell everybody that, yeah, they're great products. And we do have many customers that purchase every single day, and they are very happy with the products that we offer them, mainly because it's so varied, so wide. We do have products, exhaust that cannot be found within the United States. And that's why many of our customers do look for us to get that quality.
Well, it's very cool. One of the things I noticed, I mentioned it in the intro, is that GPR boasts a zero carbon footprint using latest technologies. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because you hear that a lot these days because of concerns for the environment. But sometimes I go, how do you do that when you're producing products? What are some of the ways around the usual challenges when it comes to trying to be zero carbon?
Well, what it is that GPR has chosen many materials that are sustainable. So they come from completely recycled sources, and they are recyclable afterwards. They have actually done away with many finishes that cannot be recycled and produce a lot of emissions in the manufacturing process, such as carbon fiber. So we actually just had a sale to remove a lot of those carbon fiber exhausts that were left in our inventory. A lot of our customers did get great deals on that, but they are doing that to be able to improve their production and help the environment. Now, one thing that's kind of curious is that a lot of people say, well, what's great about that? Well, what we've been trying to tell our customers and the industry is that because they are exhausts typically produce emissions.
Right.
But we, which is kind of damaging to the environment, but we're going against the grain there. We're actually helping the environment with the products themselves, the type of manufacturing, and also the manufacturing plant itself has purchased a park that any emissions produced within the manufacturing process will actually be absorbed by the trees in this area within Italy.
Wow.
So even that is being helped in the environment. So the production process itself does come out to be a zero emissions process in that way.
That's pretty cool. Years ago, I was at the Ferrari factory, and they had just opened a new part of their factory where they were making their engines, and we got an inside tour, and it was full of plants and trees, and I went, what are all the trees doing in here? You're making engines, and it was the same type of thing. They also said it was very nice for the workers because it's calming, and they feel like they're not just in this big warehouse full of hard surfaces and so forth. So it's a pretty cool thing. So GPR, are they an Italian company? Is that where they're from?
Yes, they're in Milan, Italy. So they're an Italian company, and that's one of the things that we actually are very proud of, because many exhausts are made in other countries and they do not have that type of quality. So these are totally handmade with very high quality.
Well, I know your products because I used to have a Ducati motorcycle and put some exhausts on there that were originally from that company. I kind of had to modify my bike because that's what we do, right?
That's what everybody does,
the first thing we do. So I'm familiar with that. And of course, the Italians are great at producing products. I used to import a lot of Italian products. Beautiful designs along with how they work very well along the way. So I love it. You've kind of combined a lot of cool things. I'd love for you to share a little bit. How did you get here? How did you your career evolve? Because I mentioned in your intro that you were involved in IT and cybersecurity. And I know you were working very hard, but I think one day you kind of woke up and said, there's got to be something better in life than this.
Oh, yes. No, the corporate environment is very difficult to work in. I guess that some people are cut out for it, but it really takes a special person to do it. It's very competitive. So, for example, to be able to escalate within that corporate environment, you do have to work very, very long hours. And, me as a mom with two children, I was just not agreeing with that or just many of their decisions. So there's a lot of politics, office politics. Many people do get hurt in the process when they don't agree with the politics. So that's when I had decided that I just need to just follow my dreams and move into like an entrepreneurial lifestyle, even though I had always done that on the side. So I just needed to kind of expand that and be able to leave the corporate environment, which is not an easy decision to take for many people, but I was able to do it.
Well, this is an interesting thing because being a mom with two children, and obviously you want to have that life-work balance. And lots of times big companies especially, they don't really care that much about you. They only care about themselves and their board and their stock prices and so forth. And so your personal life gets a back seat, which you realize as you get older. And I'm at a point in my life now where you realize that time you get with your children is so, so important, and you'll never,
very precious.
You never get it back. So when you decided to make this jump, that's a pretty bold, brave move. What went through your mind and how did you make that decision? Because a lot of listeners to Cars Yeah want to have a career of their own or in the automotive sector, but they're kind of afraid to take that big, bold move. And how do you do it? So did you do some things to prepare for that? Or did you just say one day, take this job and shove it? There was a movie, I think, where that line was famous. But how did you make that bold decision and then the steps to get into your own business?
Well, I do get a lot of friends actually that I mentor. And one of the things that I always tell them is that you have to kind of make a plan out for yourself and have that end goal in mind. So for example, most importantly, life insurance. Am I going to be able to also meet my minimum expenses? So you kind of have to work towards that and start building it up. You can't just like turn it on and one day you're an entrepreneur. No, because you really do have to work into it and learn about it. So you have to figure out how to be financially independent, how not to involve a corporation and get those benefits, because leaving the benefits is really the scariest part.
Oh, yeah.
And also you have to just be mentally prepared that you will get pushback from family, from friends. Because,
what are you doing, Dalia?
Yeah, are you going crazy? You have a family. You're going to be out on the streets. So I think they think you're going to live in poverty or something like that. But when you do see that there are so many people that are successful at it, you can do it. So it's really just kind of setting your mind to it and then working into it. For me, it took about 10 years for me to be able to do it and work it up. Mm-hmm. But, I was able to find these great products and to be able to know, to learn about the products, present them to the customers and be able to go that way, to be able to finally take that step to do it.
You dropped a couple golden nuggets here. One of them is develop a plan and work a plan, which we've heard those words before. Also build what I call a runway, a financial runway. Some people do what's called a side hustle where they work on something in the evenings. You go to work. Now, the hours that you were probably working, and there was no extra room in the day for a side hustle at all. But the other thing that I remind people that I talk to that are in this position is, you think that your life at a big company is total, secure, and safe. But at any moment, HR can walk in and say, we're doing away with this whole division. Last day, see you, bye. And people don't realize that can happen. Things that are out of your control. Maybe you're doing some things that are in your control and your boss doesn't like. And one day he just goes, I'm done with you. Goodbye. So the idea that your job is so secure isn't really that way. So that bold move to go out and create your own business and create your own life. Yeah, it's scary, but if you build a plan and work that plan and build a financial runway, you can certainly do it. And for you, did you have some passion for motorsports and cars and motorcycles and things? Was that there as well?
Well, it's actually very funny. I guess because I've always been like an analytical type. I've always been kind of against the norm. So even when I was small, I loved trains. I liked cars. I liked bicycles. I liked motorcycles. I liked everything just kind of mechanical, not the stereotypical girl. And even my mom says it all the time. She said, Dalia, like everybody else was playing with Barbies. You just didn't want to do that. It's like, no, mommy, I just couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. So I was even playing with GI Joes with the guys on the streets, at the time, because that was the big thing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it wasn't really a passion. It's just something that I kind of fell into. It felt right. And then I developed the relationships to be able to bring these products to our customers.
Great job.
Yeah.
That's an awesome story. Have there been some driving inspirations, influential people in your life that have been either mentors or helpers along the way?
Well, I guess my family has always been a great support in my life. One of the people that biggest admiration of people that I admire is my aunt. She was always like a second mom to me. And I remember that when, my oldest was born, I was just like frantic. The corporate lifestyle was just not me. I would tell her everything. And she would always tell me, Dalia, work towards what you want your life to be. And even right now, when I talk about it, it gives me like the shivers because that's what really kind of just got me. And I said, no, like, this is what I need to do. I need to be able to, have that flexibility, that different lifestyle, not this corporate lifestyle, so that I can be there for my family and be a happy person. Because if I'm happy, my family's going to be okay. And that's going to be important for me.
Powerful words that aunt of yours shared with you. Work toward what you want your life to be.
Yes.
Don't just live what your life is.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. That, a lot of people don't even realize that can happen. And before they know it, 5-10 years have gone by. And they kind of go, why am I still in the same rut? Why am I still unhappy every day? Why do I live for the weekends and the evenings and not for my life and my days? So, wow, very fortunate to have that lady in your life for sure, right?
Yes, no, and she's still in my life, and I love her, and I tell her all the time that she changed my life.
Yeah, well, she did. Well, one other thing, and you touched on this before, is how would you advise other people that want to make a big, bold change like this in their life?
Well, I've always told my friends, because my friends are, they look up to me a lot and they ask for advice. And I always say, look, the easiest way I would say is to start up that side hustle. That's how I did it. Just kind of started doing it on the side, started learning about e-commerce, sales, customers, how to present products, marketing, everything like that. I was also able to pull in my previous education in business and programming, computers and analytics. I just tell everybody, just learn as much as you can. Do it on the side if you are in that corporate environment and work up to it. It does take some time, and it does take some people just kind of longer than others, but it will happen.
The other thing I'm going to add to that is find yourself some mentors or people to surround yourself with that have already done it and ask them for advice. Most people, even people you don't know that well, are often very willing to offer advice to you and help. And many times we're afraid to ask for that advice because we might look like we don't know anything or we feel like we're intruding on their lives. And I'll tell you, people that don't want to spend the time with you, you'll find out pretty quick when you start asking them for help. They won't return your calls and just say, you know what, their life is not at a point right now to help me, but there'll be other people that you reach out to. And the thing about today with the internet and YouTube and all of this, you can learn so much by just sitting at your computer and watching tutorials and reading things. And I mean, you think about back when I was a kid, all we had was a crummy 10-year-old Encyclopedia Britannica,
Oh, yeah. No, I know those. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. We're going to take a short break. We come back. I want to talk about a huge, big challenge you face and how you've overcome it, and more importantly, what it taught you. So keep that in mind. Keep the seatbelts tight. We'll be right back. I've teamed up with AutoGeek because, well, they've been the leading source of auto detailing products, accessories for more than 20 years. Their Pinnacle Sovereign Paste Wax is specially formulated from Brazilian carnauba wax. It's easy to apply on any paint surface and provides that warm glow that we love, especially me on my vehicles. You're going to love it too. A favorite of car shows countrywide, Pinnacle Sovereign Paste Wax from AutoGeek wipes on easily, requires no drying time, is easy to remove, and provides up to 90 days of protection against damaging environmental contaminants. This wax is designed to exceed the standards of the most discriminating enthusiasts and collectors. Go to autogeek.net to get yours for the best product selection on the internet today, along with their very skilled technical support. Autogeek.net. That's where I go for all my detailing needs. That's autogeek.net. Want to hear something crazy? Veterans work on billions of dollars of vehicles, planes, and engines while deployed, but they can't touch our car until they've obtained a certification and training requirements for employment back here at home. That's crazy. Dick Force Foundation Military Transition Fund provides scholarships and grants so our veterans can transition to great careers following their service for this great country. Support Tech Force a charity of choice here at Cars Yeah, and its workforce development efforts for our veterans by donating at techforce.org today. I've discovered Linkage. It's a new quarterly publication and website that covers the automotive market, driving, restoring, collecting, and discovering your passion for motor vehicles. Linkage is about experiences, opinions, and values. Linkage is an actual informed, reasoned opinion based on first-hand experiences. A talented Linkage team covers the automotive world, the people who share your passion and mine, smart, considered, rational, and experienced opinions, ones you can learn from and grow. That includes our passion that drives auctions and the collector car market. So come with me and join us on this journey. And be sure to use the code CARSYEAH when you subscribe, and they'll give you $10 off. Boom! Linkage, geared for the automotive life. Subscribe today at linkagemag.com. So, Dalia, let's talk about this. I love asking this question, not so much to drum up something that's been really negative, but it's more about what it taught you. And I always say that failure is good because it meant you tried something you didn't know how to do. Maybe it goes back to those days in school when you were punished for not knowing things. I think in many ways they should do tests different these days and reward you for what you didn't know and then re-reward you for when you learn it. But that's another discussion. So take us on a big challenge, a big obstacle, or a big failure story for you.
Well, I guess the biggest challenge for me has been, and we can't say it's like a negative or anything, but, I do not fit the stereotypical computer programmer, analytics, corporate environment. I did used to work in cybersecurity. So even being a woman in that environment was not easy. So for example, you sit in a conference room full of guys, they're all older than me. You try to say something, they look the other way.
Yeah.
And it's totally subtle. Nobody notices except me, except the women. Or if there is another woman in the conference room, she will notice. But the guys will never, ever notice. So it was very challenging. I have faced that all throughout my career, even as an entrepreneur. So for example, I do help the customers. I love to do the customer service because I'm in contact with the customers. I can see what they want. Look if there's any trends so that I can help them and just lead the company that way. So even now, many customers call up. I answer the phone. They tell me they want to talk to a manager. No. When I say I am the manager and the owner, yeah. Oh, no, really? And I was, yes, is there something wrong with that?
Yeah, yeah.
You can immediately hear the letdown in their voices.
Wow.
So I have to kind of just say, hey, if there's something wrong with being a woman. And so they immediately kind of step out of it. Oh, no, really, no. I just wanted to ask you about boom, boom, boom. And, they'll ask me about an exhaust or maybe some other part that we sell. Or, hey, they have a special bike. They're trying to look for a special part and they can't find it. Can we get it for them? And when they realize that, yes, I can help them.
Yes.
Big surprise.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so these days, we just tell everybody, hey, if you're going to call us up, just be prepared to speak to a woman and a woman who knows what she's saying. And there's nothing wrong with that.
It's sad to hear that it still happens today. I'll tell you something fun, Dalia. When I toured the Ducati motorcycle factory in Bologna, we were walking through, and I was lucky because I got a private tour, and we went into the area where they were doing all the wiring. And I said, the host, the lady who was walking around, a woman, I said, this is interesting. I said, I've seen a lot of men here until we came into this department. It's all women. And she had this big smile on her face. And she said, you're very astute. And I said, well, I'm just curious. And she said, well, we've learned that women are much more caring and better at being very focused in areas that need to have focus. And the electronics on the motorcycle are that way. So we found that it's better to have women in this department because there aren't any mistakes. Because when you have to go back and fix those electrical mistakes, it's a problem. And
Correct.
I just thought this is very interesting. But when you think about it, and I've worked with lots of women, I ran a company where we had women. It was just a different way of approaching things. And as a man, I had to learn how to deal with that and how to not deal with it. That's the wrong way to say it, but how to work better with women. And my wife helped me a lot with that process because I was guilty of some of the same stereotypical things that I would do just because of maybe it was just the environment, the way we're raised as guys. So we've got some learning to do still, right?
And believe it or not, it still exists and it's all around us every single day. So I guess if a lot of guys don't realize because they don't live it, but the women feel it all the time. And it's a shame. It's a shame it's still there.
Well, guys listening out there, let's do a better job, okay? We're working on it. We're a work in progress. We always are because we're men, right? Yeah, that's our downfall. Let's talk about a special vehicle in your life, a vehicle that's been in your life or is your life now or maybe in the past or maybe it's something in the future, but what would that ride be for you?
Well, we live and breathe motorcycles these days and the parts that we put on them. So for me, I would say it's not a special one vehicle. It's like the collective.
Oh, okay.
Our collective customer vehicles because we get those testimonials every day. So for example, if you look at our Instagram accounts, we've got, GPR _Americas and 6061 _love. You'll see our vehicles that we've adorned with our products and exhausts, and you will see just the pride in our customers and what they're doing. So it's just amazing. I also get a lot of phone calls because, like I said, I love to do the customer service to be stay in contact with the customers. And so they tell me hey, I stopped at a red light and everybody turned around and looked at me. And so you can hear that they're beaming. So that's why I say it's not just one special vehicle. It's the collective customer vehicles.
That's unique. That's probably the most unique answer I've heard to that question. That you spun that around to your customers, which means you're a very astute businesswoman. That's for sure. Because that's what it's all about, is pleasing the customers. So I'm going to be your automotive psychologist and crawl into your head a little bit here today. If you were reincarnated or motorcycle-nated or manifested as a vehicle, what would Dalia be, but more importantly, why?
Oh, no, I would say we are since we're looking into the future and our customers and what's going to be going on in the world, I would say Tesla, because we believe Tesla helps the environment and they're just on the forefront of everything that's going on. And I know that there are others, but I'm just kind of putting that one out there just because, I used to be in that engineering type role. And so I love what they're doing as far as engineering. We are in Florida and we are in Orlando, so we do see the spaceships going up in our backyard at least a couple times a month, and it is cool so much that we've gotten used to it. And so we know that those are those SpaceX and everything Tesla related. So that for me is a big deal. My boys also worship Elon Musk and his entrepreneurial spirit.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why we look up to everything Tesla.
Yeah. Now, this is interesting answer to this question. And I'll dive into this area because when you think about Tesla electric EV vehicles, they don't need exhaust systems. So in a way, wouldn't that be putting you out of business? Or is there some future relationship with exhaust systems and electric vehicles and maybe sounds that are created from a technological standpoint so that we can at least hear the cars coming so we don't step out in front of them? I know some cars make sounds. I know when the original EVs came out, they had these interesting sounds so you could be heard. But is there any relationship to exhaust systems when a car that's an EV that doesn't need an exhaust system?
Well, I wouldn't say that, you never know what's going to happen in the future. GPR will be bringing out more accessories for different bikes. They're working on that, and they will be coming out in the next couple of years. We're looking into that right now. We'll be distributing those in the United States as well. But I would say, as far as sound, because you did mention sound, the exhausts themselves, they do have a special sound, and we do get a lot of comments and compliments regarding the exhaust sounds, because I guess many of our customers want their motorcycles to be loud, but not too loud. Some of them don't want that obnoxious sound to it, even though we can make them super loud if they want them. But yet, as you're saying, sound is important on a motorcycle. You do want to be heard for the sake of safety.
Yeah.
And so we do focus on that, and we do get a lot of compliments for that.
I could see that in the future with more EV bikes coming out.
Yes.
That there's some type of audio signal there or something for people so they hear a bike coming, because a lot of us in cars have become so insulated and sound resistant that you don't hear a bike coming up on you. And if you're in a state where you can go between lanes. I've almost tagged a few bikers that are coming up and you don't even hear them coming. And all of a sudden, oh, jeez,
Correct.
they're right there. So,
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some type of a future there
There
in
is.
that respect as well, which is pretty cool.
Mhm.
I always like to ask if guests have found a way in their lives to give back to others, to help others. So what are some ways that you found that make you feel good?
Well, I am always mentoring, like you said. I do mentor a lot of people, and because people know what I've done in the past, they know how I've been able to make this step and get out of that corporate environment. So I get questions all the time, and I'm constantly mentoring people on how to do that and to help them just kind of bring up their confidence, because a lot of people think that it can't be done. And I love it when people call me up and even my husband says, Dalia, you're so busy, but you're taking time out to help this other person. I say, yeah, I have to.
Yeah.
So many people helped me in the past, even if it was just like, sometimes I was just, stressed out over the corporate environment, and they would help me just kind of calm down. And so I just take time out to do that and to help others as well.
Yeah, it's a great thing to do. How about great books? Is there a great book you'd like to share with us? Could be a business book, could be an automotive book, it could be self-help or something.
Well, as an entrepreneur, I don't have a lot of time, but I do make time to just, read up on everything to see what other entrepreneurs are doing. So like you said, there are a lot of, internet places where you can go on YouTube. There's a lot of blogs that, I do look at. So for example, I love CNBC Make It on YouTube. I love to see what others are doing, and what women are doing too, and how they're juggling it all. I read up a lot about entrepreneurs. I watch Shark Tank to see what others are doing there and see how they criticize their products.
Yes.
I watch it with my son so that, they're learning, how to do this as well. And so a lot of the times, the Shark Tank participants go on there, we know exactly what's wrong or what's right with the business. And when the sharks start talking, like, hey, we say, look, hey, we know, like we got it before they did.
Yeah.
So that's a good feeling.
Yeah, that's a fun show for sure. Yeah, I get nervous for some of the people that are on that.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you haven't prepared. You don't know your numbers.
Yeah, definitely.
Very cool. So today, I'd love for you to go on what I call the ultimate drive. I'm going to provide you with any vehicle in the world. You can be with anybody, somebody living or someone who's passed, and you can be going anywhere. So I'll open up my big checkbook and send you off on a wonderful drive. What does it look like for you, Dalia?
Well, like I already mentioned Tesla, so I'm going to say Elon Musk.
Oh,
so we
yeah.
we actually read about Elon Musk, especially my son. My son wants to be an engineer, but he wants to combine it with like entrepreneurship as well. And so if you ever read about Elon Musk, he was an incredible student. He was great at academics, but he was able to make that leap immediately, leave his doctorate behind, and just jump into being an entrepreneur. So that has been the most amazing thing to me. So if I could ever sit with somebody in a car, it would be him. And I would like to ask him how he did it. What was that step-by-step process? Yeah.
That would be an interesting talk. Yeah, I think a lot of people would like to crawl into that guy's head. And I think once you get in there, it might be so busy and crazy, you might want to leap out because I can't handle it.
But it's so crazy. It's got to be incredible.
It's got to be an amazing person for sure. And not just because he's now the so-called richest person in the world. I really think he's way beyond that. There's a whole
He's way beyond that.
A whole nother level to him. Many levels, I think, in many ways. So yeah, he's quite amazing. So you have taken us on a really fun ride today. I love learning more about your business, 6061 and GPR North America. Wonderful companies, and you've really created an incredible life for yourself. My hat's off to you. Before I let you go, could you share some words of inspiration or wisdom?
Well, I would always say, just go for your dreams. Don't listen to what society believes you should be. You don't have to fit that stereotype. So even me as a woman, there was a specific stereotype for women. They can't do certain things, and I've been told that in companies that I've even been told, hey, women fit the stereotype of customer service. But hey, you are doing like an engineering type role. So,
jeez.
Just crazy stuff I've had to listen to. But don't listen to that. Just go for your dreams.
Yeah, absolutely. You've been a great inspiration for us today, Dalia. How can people learn more about 6061 and GPR?
I would say just make sure you go to our websites, gprexhaustsystems.com. So gprexhaustsystems.com. On the bottom of that website, you will see the contact information with a phone number. Be prepared if you call that phone number, I will answer.
Dalia,
somebody, you can talk to me or somebody in our team. But like I said, I love to answer those phones. You can also go to our other website, 6061.com. But the GPR Exhaust Systems is where you'll find those GPR exhausts. You can check us out on Instagram, 6061_love or GPR_Americas, and see what our customers are doing. And, we like to use that as inspiration for our other customers. So, and they do get inspired by that.
I'll put put links to all of these ways to reach out to Dalia and her company on her show notes page on the Cars Yeah website. She'll be easy to find. I think you're the only Dalia who's been on the show, so very cool. And I want to do a shout out thank you to Hunter Park and Shay Brown at Royal Kingdom PR Agency in the UK. They're the ones that introduced me to Dalia, so thank you, you two, across the pond. This has been a wonderful, wonderful talk we've had with Dalia today. So happy to have her on the show. Hey, Dalia, thanks for being so generous and for sharing your time with us and being so inspirational. Wonderful story with what you've done. No doubt a lot of great things in your future coming as well. Until you and I talk again, I'll see you down the road.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for joining us on today's ride here at Cars Yeah. Drive on over to carsyeah.com to find show notes and inspiring automotive fun. Download your free copy of Filler Up, a fun book filled with gorgeous photographs of fuel filler fun, including quotes from more inspiring automotive enthusiasts. Download your copy today, and we'll see you next time on Cars Yeah.